Hello, welcome back to Laser Cut and Fly RC Models. I'm the laser model guy. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to complete the Dixie. I've got the fuselage here along with the horizontal and vertical stabilizers. I'm going to be covering those, connecting up the servos, installing the electronics, and then once all that's done we can take it out and give it a fly. So first thing I need to do is I think I will assemble and cover the tail plane and the fin, and the way I'm going to do that, or what I'm going to use to cover, is I've got a nice yellow Aura cover which is transparent. I've got a transparent red Aura cover, but I've also got this really nice check which is pretty sporty. Now I'll use the check on the main plane or the main wing, but I'm not going to use it on the back because it's quite heavy. It's quite heavy covering this, and I don't want anything to, I don't want to create problems for getting the centre of balance right by making the tail any heavier than it has to be. So I'll use that on the main wing, and I'll show you that later, and I'll use the red and the yellow, I think, on the tail plane and the fin. So before I do that, I think what I'm going to do on this occasion is I'm going to assemble these parts together now. So the way I'm going to assemble this, the way I'm going to stick this on, is I'm going to align this back edge with one of the lines on my grid here, and I'm going to align the centre of this, which I've already measured. I'm going to align that with one of the lines going across this way, and then all I need to do is apply some glue, and then I will put the vertical stabilizer exactly in line with the line on my grid, and then I'll know that everything's square and perfect. So I'll do that now. And because this is such a good fit, it actually sits, it'll just sit in place. I'm quite pleased with the way it's come out. And when I apply the covering, that will all help with the strength of this join, this bond. So there we are. So I'm going to leave that to set now, and then once that's set, I'll apply the cover, and then we'll fit the tail plane and the fin to the back of the fuselage. So I've just cut a piece of this film, and I'm just going to put that on there, just like that, and then all I'm going to do is just, using the hot iron, just going to tack it into place a few places, and then I can just tack the edge. Just use this back corner of the iron there, and then trying to keep it nice and tight. A little bit there, and right in that corner there. Okay, and then the back edge, same again. Using that back corner there of the iron, just hold that all in place. Coming to the end, trying to keep it reasonably tight. And there we go. So if I just try to stick this down on the centre, and you can see that just overlaps slightly onto the vertical stabilizer or the fin, and that'll help with the connection there. Okay, so I'll just trim that round. So you don't have too much excess. And then I can just iron that edge down just like that. I need a nice square edge at the back here because the elevator has got an angle. It's got a sharp angle cut just there, so that when it's fastened on, it will be able to bend down. Okay, so I'm going to just leave that loose on there for now until we've got both sides done, and then I'll be able to shrink that and it'll become nice and tight and it'll be a really nice finish. So same again on the other side. So that's the cover all on, and you can see it's pretty loose at the moment. I've left this space at the bottom because that's what's going to stick to the wood when we fasten it on. So let me just smooth this out now with the iron, and you'll see how that changes and how it shrinks and becomes a really nice finish. There we are. Okay, so that will just fit straight onto the back end of the plane. We'll be able to glue that on shortly, and then connect up. Once we put the elevator and the rudder, once I coat those or cover those, we'll be able to fasten those on and put our horns in that will connect to the servos, and then we'll be in a position then to cover the main body. I'm going to do the elevator and the rudder in red, so just take the backing film off. And then just put that on. Hold it in place, just do a little bit each end to start. Make sure we iron out all of those bubbles. And that looks perfect. So just trim this just trim this up, try to smooth it so that we don't end up with a lot gathered there that'd be unsightly. That looks quite nice. So I'll just do the other side now, and then I'll do the rudder, and then I will show you what they look like once they're all in place. So the tail's attached now, or the tail plane and the fin. I've attached the elevator and the rudder. So next, what I want to do is I want to connect these. I've put a horn there, you can see the ones that we made, and on the other side I've got one there on the rudder as well. So all I want to do now is connect the actuator on the servo to the horn on the elevator and on the rudder. And this is what I'm going to use. I've made these up, so all I'm going to do is this one will be connected into that horn there, and then I'll get that level and I'll just cut this off to the right length to leave that nice and flat. I'll just use these snips to do that. Oops, a little bit flown off the end. Then all I need to do then is connect that, and then bring this just undo the screw in the top of the small grub screw in the top of the connector on the servo, and that's now through. So you can see how that connects into the servo, and then it connects to the back on the horn there. So just get that nice and flat, nice and level with the bottom, and then I can just nip that up, tighten that. Okay. Now I'll just do exactly the same on the other side with the rudder. Okay, so that's us all nicely connected. So with the servos connected now to the back, or to the elevator and the rudder, what I'm going to do next is, before I cover the aeroplane, it would be best to put the receiver, and I'm going to also fit a gyro to this aeroplane. It's the A3 V2 gyro, which is 3-axis, and what that'll do is when we're flying, it'll keep our aeroplane stable when we want it to be, when we're not inputting. So really handy if you're a beginner to flying. Okay, so I'll do a separate video on how to set up a gyro for those who want to see that, and I'll also do a separate video on how we connect all of the electronics up, because at the moment I just want to get it in so that we can get covered. So I'll get on with that. Okay, so I think we're now ready to cover the cover the rest of the fuselage. I just want to show you this little bit of detail here. What I've put in here is a piece of 1/16 balsa, and I've got 2 holes in that so that the controls or the control rods can get through. Now the reason I've put this in is, first of all, so the covering has got a place to go to, and also I was able to take the rods out and put this in and then put the cover on and then replace the rods. If I had left the rods in, it would be very difficult to cover this piece here effectively. So that's why I've done that, and I've added that to the plan as well. So that's now a part that will be cut out. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll just go up to the back of the cabin for now. So from here, just up to here, so I'll just cut that piece. Okay, so I'll just put this piece on here and I'll show you how I do that, and then I'll get the rest done and show you what it looks like when I've finished, because it's just going to be a repeat process. So all I'm going to do is just around the outside in various places. I'm going to just tack it onto the frame by holding the hot iron on it. To this side, exactly the same. Just like that. Now all I'm going to do is trim it so that there's just less than 5 millimeters either side, or about 5 millimeters either side, and then I'm going to and then I'll be able to fasten it down properly. I turn that round so that I'm coming at it from this side, so I haven't got the tail in the way of the scissors. Trim this side as well. There. And then what I find best is to go round that corner and fasten it down onto the outer edge. And it gives it a firmer hold for when you shrink it, so that it doesn't sort of pull away. And I'll do the same here. Okay, then across these cross braces, just to make sure we're properly fastened in all over. And then once that's done, you can see how that's, I don't know if that's catching the light, it's not flat, it's quite loose. But once we've got it fastened all round, we can then go over it with the iron, and you can see how that stretches perfectly, nice and tight, and you get that really nice finish, just like that. But anyway, okay, so that's how I'm going to cover the whole plane, or the whole fuselage. I won't do that all on the video. I'll just get that done and I'll show you what it looks like when it's finished. Okay, that's the Dixie complete. I've put the wing on, put the prop on, put the wheels on, and we've set the centre of balance, and I like where that is. It's just nice and level, so I'm confident that we're going to be fine with that. Unfortunately, the weather's not good. It's not very good to fly today. It's a little bit windy, and I've looked at the weather forecast for the week, and it doesn't look like we'll get a chance this week. What I will do though is in the next series, I'll include a clip of the Dixie flying, and I'll let you see that. So thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you all next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any content, and I'll see you all next time.